Day forecast includes showers on Wednesday and then again on Thursday. The temperature drops, but this is what we've been waiting for. The 7-day forecast shows big improvement and another stellar weekend, and maybe some outdoor dinners as well coming up next weekend.
Sounds perfect. Thanks, Anthony. We'll take it. Well, Global Montreal is shining the spotlight tonight on travel expenses for senior executives at Montreal's Transit Corporation. A Global News investigation reveals more than $250,000 was spent in the last 4 years alone. That is 3 times more than transit executives in Toronto spent. In this exclusive report, Tim Sargent asked the questions, how are these trips benefiting the taxpayer?
Montreal transit officials like to promote their service as a transportation system on the go. After all, a record number of travelers used its intertwining bus and metro network last year. Passengers aren't the only ones on the move, though. A Global News investigation reveals the STM's senior staff members are traveling plenty as well. The top brass spent more than $250,000 on trips abroad in the last 4 years. That's 3 times more than their counterparts at Toronto's Transit Commission, who spent slightly more than $84,000.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yanick Labrie complains the STM spends too much on foreign travel, and there's little incentive for senior staff to reduce their trips because their budget is protected by the government.
When you know that even if you incur deficit, government is going to come to the rescue, well, it's what we see happening.
Spending on foreign travel has increased by 76% since 2008. Last year alone, they spent more than $95,000 in 4 different continents. And just look at some of the places they visited: Paris, Rome, London, Venice, Hong Kong, Dubai, Brazil, Sweden, and plenty more.
We actually publish every trip by our leading directors and members of the board, where they went, how much they spent, and what the purpose of the trip was.
STM Vice Chairman Marvin Rotrand is one of the top spenders on foreign travel. In 2011, he went to Hong Kong and Dubai for a world convention.
We were able to sit down with some of the best agencies in the world and pick their brains.
Some complain the problem isn't how much STM executives are traveling, it's that they're not tooting their own horn.
I think they should be out there telling everybody, we've traveled, we've learned these things, and here's how Montrealers are going to benefit.
More than half of the STM's budget comes from Quebec taxpayers. Many of them feel the STM's senior staff are taking them for a ride, while transit fares and property taxes go up and STM executives go abroad.
I think that there has to be an overall review of the priorities of what they want to spend their money on. So they should have budget controls on these things and have to apply for a budget for travel.
Marvin Rotrand says the foreign travel budget this year shouldn't be as high as last year because there's no world convention to attend, but he insists it'll still be within the $95,000 vicinity. Tim Sargent, Global News, Montreal.
Coming up here on the Evening News on Global Montreal, a red carpet welcome. The